Minister of Romy looks back at his time in office since taking the oath of office. Member of Parliament for National Alliance says that the Dutch has their own agenda, and that is to retake control of St. Martin. And the Windward Islands Bank to further extend the moratorium with 3 additional months. Those are the headlines, viewers, for Monday, August the 24th, 2020. Good evening, viewers. This is SXM Daily News. I am Valerie Van Putten. Thank you for joining me. And as usual, we have a packed newscast for you, so let's get started. In our first story for this evening, the Windward Islands Bank stated on Monday, August the 24th, that it continues to support its clients in these difficult times and as a result has decided to further extend the moratorium with 3 additional months, namely from September to November, to provide immediate financial relief to its clients. This will be done with no additional charges and/or no interests. For more information, the General Managing Director of the Windward Islands Bank, Mr. Derek Downs, spoke to the Voice of St. Martin's newsroom.
Well, as you know, the moratorium started in March this year, and the moratorium was automatic for both retail and commercial clients down until the end of August. However, there's a little change with respect to how the moratorium would be allowed for the next 3 months. We are using for the retail clients an opt-in option, which means that for those people who still want to continue to pay their loan, although we are extending the moratorium, they can do so. And for those who cannot or who do not want to make their payments, they can go on our website. There will be a portal available, and they can indicate in the portal that they would like to take advantage of the payment moratorium for their personal loans, whether that's a mortgage, a credit card, a car loan, or any personal loan. For commercial clients, it will be a little different. We will be providing the moratorium on a case-by-case basis, which means that commercial clients who would like to take advantage of the payment moratorium, they have to contact the account manager or they will send an email, and we're going to have an adjusted notice published in the newspaper to make it a lot more clearer. They will send a specific email indicating their interest in taking advantage of the moratorium, and we will contact that commercial client to gather certain bits of information to make an assessment regarding the request. So for the commercial clients, the moratorium will not be an automatic option as was done in the last 6 months. They would have to request the payment moratorium. We will contact them. We will ask for certain bits of information that we can make an assessment as to whether or not the moratorium will be granted.
The additional 3 months extension will go into effect as of when, Mr. Downs?
As at the end of September. So the next 3 months will be September, October, and November, because the current moratorium ends at the end of August this month.
You're also the president of the St. Martin Bankers Association. What can you say to those other banks?
Well, each bank will determine how they will proceed going forward. I cannot speak for the other banks or make a decision regarding this matter for the other bank. So each bank would advise their clients how they're going to progress in the next 3 or so months.
And as we continue now with more news, as of August the 23rd, St. Martin has confirmed 28 new cases of persons who have tested positive for the coronavirus COVID-19. The new total of positive cases now stand at 396. Of the active cases, the Collective Prevention Services, CPS, are monitoring 222 people in home isolation. The Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, VSA, the Honorable Richard Panaflex, stated, "We now have 232 active cases of persons who have contracted COVID-19. 8 patients are currently hospitalized and 2 patients are isolated and being monitored. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 remains at 17. The number of people recovered since the first case surfaced on St. Martin remains at 147. 550 people are now in quarantine based on contact tracing investigations carried out by CPS of persons who may have been in contact with any of the active cases. In a continued effort to control the spread of the virus, CPS has tested 696 travelers arriving at the Princess Juliana International Airport and 1,417 people throughout the community. As the number of positive cases continue to increase, CPS will continue to actively execute its contact tracing measures. If you have been exposed to someone with the virus or experiencing flu-like symptoms, please remain at home and contact your family doctor immediately. For any questions or concerns, call CPS at emergency number 914. Please remain vigilant and continue to practice the mandatory regulations implemented by wearing your masks, practicing social distancing, avoid greeting by hugging and kissing, sanitize your hands as frequently as possible, wash your hands with soap, and refrain from mass gatherings. And in other news, members of Parliament, namely Sarah Westcott Williams, Melissa Gumbs, Grisha Heiliger Martin, and Claudius Boncamper, have requested a meeting of Parliament to get information regarding the financial state of the government-owned companies. The members of Parliament wish to be updated as to the financial position of these companies and therefore requested a meeting to this effect with the management and boards of these companies. In their letter, the MPs alluded to the lack of information regarding these companies and expressed their concern that in these dire financial times, keen attention must be paid to the government-owned companies as well. These companies have also had to apply the relevant conditions imposed by the Dutch government, and we have witnessed how this played out publicly between the management and workers of PJIA and TLM, the MPs said on Monday. According to the press communique, the members of Parliament want the series of meetings with government-owned companies to commence with the TLM group of companies and look forward to these meetings starting within short. And still to come, Member of Parliament for NA recapitulates that the Dutch has their own agenda, and that is to retake control of St. Martin. And I'll have the details of that story and much more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News, and I'm Valerie Van Putten. Leader of the United Democrats, Member of Parliament, the Honorable Sarah Westcott Williams, is requesting that a meeting of the Kingdom Affairs Committee of Parliament take proactive steps with with respect to the draft Caribbean Reform Entity Kingdom law be held. According to the Member of Parliament, it is imperative that the Parliament of St. Martin verbalizes its position regarding the proposed new entity. Speaking to the Voice of St. Martin's News Department last week, the UD Member of Parliament was asked if she had a counter-proposal for the proposed new entity.
In an earlier press statement, I indicated that there are some parts, some areas of agreement between the Caribbean countries. So I'm talking about St. Martin as well as the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. One area of agreement, for example, is that in so many areas of management, of government, we can use reform. One of the suggestions that tie in to this draft expensive kingdom law is reform. Reform in the area of finances, in the area of education, etc., etc. And I am saying, if you take that into consideration, we can agree which areas and how we think these areas should be reformed. That's the responsibility, in my opinion, of firstly the country. So we can look at where we think reform is feasible, reform is necessary. If you have the Dutch government, which is the proposal right now, putting money into any type of reform, any type of organization, they have a right to demand accountability. And I see a structure more looking like a type of a development bank, an investment bank even, where the money from the Netherlands will be put. Where if you're going to use the money, you have to give account for the money. They can have persons in the management, in the whatever of that structure. So that type of a structure with the necessary checks and balances, in my opinion, is a much more, that such a structure gives more freedom to business type relationship with the Dutch government. And again, I understand it's their money. If we accept it, then there are going to be conditions in terms of this is what you have to, this is what you're going to use it for, this is how you're going to pay it back. Especially if it is loan, then yes, if we accept it, you put your conditions, you need the money, you pay, you need to give account for the money, but it can't be that in the same breath. And this is the proposal that is on the table by State Secretary Knopf. In the same breath, you are actually taking over part of the governance of the country.
And Member of Parliament for the National Alliance, the Honorable William Marlin, speaking on the program Viewpoint with Wendell Moore last Friday afternoon, recapitulated that the Dutch has their own agenda, and that is to retake control of St. Martin. The Member of Parliament also made reference to the attitude of the Netherlands towards Aruba and Curaçao as well.
Aruba has been a country in the kingdom for, I think, now 34 years. And now, on the eve of celebrating their 35th anniversary as an autonomous country in the kingdom, because of the pandemic, you're waving a carrot. Aruba has complied with all the conditions for a drawdown on the third tranche. But guess what? We want control of your RST. We want it. And if you don't give it to us, you ain't getting the money. This is pure blackmail to the highest. And because they know, and it's a calculated matter, because they know the countries won't survive without their help. Because why? Dominica got hit with a hurricane. But Dominica got a bag of money from the same Dutch government. No conditions. Lebanon, we all could have seen it on TV while it was happening almost. You're seeing it minutes after. Lebanon rocked by an explosion. People dead. Holland raised within record time 11.5 million euros sent to Beirut with more coming, with more help going. Not one condition. Not one condition. You don't question how they're going to use it. You don't question what they're going to use it for. You don't put no conditions to it. And so we keep, and if we would read up, Holland is giving to the rest of the international community. When they try to flex their muscle in the European Union, and the countries back and say, shame on you, they back down. And they gave billions to their European friends and comrades, no conditions. But for a pittance, you're holding your own citizens hostage, because at the end of the day, the passport that we carry today doesn't say St. Martin or Netherlands Antilles, doesn't say Dutch Caribbean. It says
Kingdom of the
European Union,
Netherlands.
and it's a Dutch passport. We are citizens of the Dutch Kingdom. And based on the UN resolutions, you cannot discriminate. Discrimination is a thing of the past. It happened before. Slavery was one of those acts of discrimination, and it is no longer allowed. It is banned. Holland is part of those treaties, but yet within your own kingdom, you're discriminating against your citizens. So my call here today, Wendell, is to sensitize our people not to fall in that trap, not to beat up on our government, and by extension, the governments of Curacao and Aruba, because we need money. I stop being arrogant. Give them what they want. So what if they want? So what if they want? You remember one of the things they wanted in 2017, border control. The border has never been more porous than today. We have hundreds of, let's say, Venezuelans, and I'm not picking on the people. But what's the control? You would expect, since the Dutch insisted on having border control, and one of the things that they said was, oh, we got to protect the Dutch taxpayers' money because we don't want the money to be going in the hands of illegal people, and this and that and the other. What have they done? Today, basically, we should be able to call on the Dutch government and say, how many Venezuelans have you registered since you have taken over? How many are they? What are their ages? What are they doing? Are they gainfully employed or not? How many people from the Dominican Republic are here? How many people from whichever other country? How many of them are here? You wanted it, you fought for it, but you have not improved it for us.
Meanwhile, speaking at the weekly press briefing on Thursday last, August the 20th, member of the anti-poverty platform, Dr. Anders Raymond Gisseroen, says the wages and the wage level in St. Martin is not the same as in the Netherlands, and not even the protection floor. Based on international labor organizations, equal remunerations conventions is what is supposed to happen. Mr. Gisseroen has once again reiterated that instead of coming with proposals that we have to be in solidarity, we ought to get the same level of salaries as in the other parts of the kingdom.
The wages and the wage level in St. Martin is not the same as in the Netherlands. Not even the social protection floor is the same. It's half, less than half than what they get in the Netherlands. Now, based on international labor organizations, equal remuneration convention, that is what ought to happen. Instead of coming with proposals that we have to be in solidarity with those that don't have, so that they can have a little, we ought to get the same level of salaries, same level of wages as in the other part of the kingdom, based on that equal remuneration convention. You know that the proposal now on the table to get a loan for the third tranche is saying that the wage bill for the public sector in St. Martin has to go down even more. It should become 10% of GDP, the gross domestic product, which is the level in the Caribbean. Why not the level in the Netherlands? Because that is the remuneration, equal remuneration level, and as a consequence. And not that the Dutch don't know it, because you have this house here in the front street with all those Dutch civil servants from the Interior Affairs. They're getting the same pay as in Holland. And they're talking for that we have to accept the conditions as the representative of the Dutch was saying in Oral Gibbs. Then we have the governor. He got the same pay as a secretary general of a ministry in the Netherlands. That's not what is happening with us here. Equal job, equal pay? No way. So what we see as anti-poverty platform is that where the government figures self-show us that 94% of the households, 9 of each 10 households is in poverty, doesn't have enough to survive every month, this could have been repaired long time by adhering to this International Labour Organization Convention of the Equal Remuneration.
And management of SZV informed the public that the pension department will not be available from Friday, August the 21st, 2020 to Monday, August the 31st, 2020 due to software upgrade and migration to a new system. As of September 1st, 2020, requests will be processed and responses provided. As a consequence thereof, they will not be able to respond to incoming requests by email or phone during this period. Some pensioners will have a delay in receiving their pension payments by the end of August or beginning of September due to the late processing of their life certificate. These persons will receive their payment retroactively by the end of September 2020. The management of SZV would like to thank the public in advance for your understanding and apologize for the inconvenience caused. Now turning to our weather forecast for August the 24th, 2020. Although weak instability associated with a low-level trough approaching the region is present, limited low-level moisture is restricting precipitation across the local area. Nevertheless, brief isolated showers and a low chance of thunder is still possible. Meanwhile, slight to moderate marine conditions are expected. Small craft operators and sea bathers should continue to exercise caution. So the outlook through Wednesday midday, fair to partly cloudy with passing showers. Now let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, introductory meeting held with Minister of Justice and CCSU Secretariat. We'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
Welcome back, viewers. And in this item from the Police Department, on August the 20th, 2020, the Police of St. Martin KPSM sent out a press release requesting information about the whereabouts of Arina Claiguna, a Canadian citizen who went missing since August the 17th, 2020. The police has updated the public that Ms. Claiguna appeared at the police station in Phillipsburg on Saturday afternoon about 2 p.m. She informed the officers that she is in good health and left the family residence on the 27th due to a misunderstanding with her partner. Ms. Claiguna also explained to the police officers that she is staying with a family friend at the moment and will be in contact with her partner in the near future. The Police of St. Martin, KPSM, would like to thank the community of St. Martin for their assistance in locating Ms. Claiguna. And as we continue now, in other news, the Minister of Justice, Anna E. Richardson, along with her support staff and personnel and organization representative, Lud Hawkins, held an introductory meeting with the Committee of Civil Servants Union, CCSU, Secretariat on Thursday, August the 20th, 2020. The purpose of the meeting was for the minister and her team to familiarize themselves with the CCSU Secretariat and their role and tasks, and to initiate a dialogue for future collaboration in the interest of civil servants. The CCSU Secretariat explained that they play several roles within the government apparatus that includes facilitating meetings between the Minister of General Affairs or the Minister of Justice and the members of the CCSU, namely the represented unions as it pertains to collective labor matters of civil servants, including the police and teachers. The Secretariat also provides support to its members and the ministers on different matters in accordance to Chapter 10A of the National Ordinance of Civil Servants' Rights, the LMA, as well as to negotiate and mediate between both parties to come to an agreement. CCSU was updated by Minister Richardson on the establishment of a project group that will be launched soon as its ministerial decree is being finalized, awaiting the signature of the Minister of General Affairs. The project group is tasked with the finalization and legislative ratification of the function books of the Ministry of Justice and the placement of the personnel in the functions thereafter. The project group will comprise of a steering committee and a work group with representatives from the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of General Affairs, and the Ministry of Finance. The work group will consult with and update the steering committee, which consists of the ministers and secretaries general of the Ministries of Justice, General Affairs, and Finance on the progress of the function books. And still to come, Minister of Vromi looks back at his time in office since taking the oath of office. And we'll have the details to that story when SXM Daily News returns. And welcome back, viewers. And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, the Honorable Minister with responsibility for Vromi, Egbert J. Doran, has been looking back at his time in office since taking the oath of office. The current Council of Ministers, headed by the Honorable Prime Minister Sylvia Jacobs, was sworn in by the Governor of St. Martin, His Excellency Dr. Anders Eugene Holliday, on Saturday, March the 28th, 2020. Prior to the official oath-taking ceremony, Minister Doran temporarily held the position of Minister of Justice. Speaking on the Breakfast Lounge with Lady Grace Friday morning and looking back at his first 100 days in office, the minister was quizzed as to some of his achievements.
I came into the office as Minister of Vromi. Of course, I've been very heavy on certain projects, to be specific, the shelters and basically the recovery. Right now, we came into a situation where there are no funds. It's difficult to get things rolling from government side, and basically most of the projects or the bigger things come from the NRPB. And we all know that the NRPB World Bank is a sort of a tedious process. It's not as simple as 1, 2, 3. Nevertheless, I think that we are improving somewhat and reaching somewhere. But most of the things that I've tackled thus far is you can see last week, I believe the press release came out where we finally were able to complete a long-standing project on the Billy Folly Road at the intersection to Atrium, where normally as soon as it rains, it fills up with water and so forth. That was able to be executed by the Department of Infrastructure Management. It has been on the books for a long time. I know the residents are very happy. The business owners in the area are happy as well. The shelters are almost finished, the 4 emergency shelters to be exact. After that, there are 9 more to be completed. So basically, the ministry is behind the NRPB and working very closely with the NRPB to accomplish most of those projects.
And with that, viewers, brings us to the end of this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening. I am Valerie Van Putten, thanking you so much for joining me. And just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.